the way I've always looked at it was kind of location based,
Mm-hmm.
and I talked about this in my last podcast. How
Yep.
I've kind of gone away from that, but to me, there's so many places you can see, and every place is full of a different vibe, and I just wanted to soak all that up.
Yep.
And I just moved around, but then you start to realize that it's more about people than places than geography.
Mm-hmm.
So but yeah, what got me going in high school was I would read biographies or watch documentaries about, or biopics or whatever, about individuals that made a huge difference in the world, and I started to notice a pattern of impulsiveness for one, and then just so much moving, like here one day, there
Yep.
the next. And,
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of how I've tried to model my life, is as if I'm reading today as it's a chapter in a book that I'm reading in 20 years. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. I get what you're saying.
Like
yeah.
I try to look back at the present in a weird way. Hindsight is 2020. I try to make present 2020.
Mm-hmm.
It is
Yeah, that makes sense.
2020.
It is 2020. Yeah, it is. No, and you do got to focus on, the day, and it's good to focus on your future as well, but dwelling on the past, that can hold you back completely.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's where the difference is I'm looking back, but I'm not going past whatever moment just passed.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
You got to live in the moment.
I'm living in the moment through the eyes of my future self.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, that's really deep, actually.
It's a weird way to put
Uh-huh.
it. But like every night I interview myself as if I'm on like, I imagine myself on like Jimmy Kimmel or Jimmy Fallon or Joe Rogan's podcast
Oh,
or
that'd
whatever.
be fun.
And I talk about that day and how it added to the progression of myself.
And that's probably really good for yourself as well. Like, I
Yeah.
feel like that helps you motivate yourself,
It's
and it makes you
interesting.
feel good, too.
Yeah. It makes you make different choices.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, sometimes you have to break the rules to do the best you can do.
Yep.
And if you're thinking about life as right now as everything, you don't always make that hard choice. But if you're looking at it as your future self looking back, you probably would make that choice.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I should have just done it. It wasn't that big of a deal. So, yeah. I don't know. Do you have any weird ways of thinking about yourself and, like, trying to boost your growth in a cheat of your mindset?
So, a friend had told me this a couple days ago, and they said that you should wake up every morning and just list 5 things that you're grateful for.
Oh, that's really important.
Really good. Because I've been battling with some things, in my personal life, especially losing my father. Some other things have been going on. And, sometimes in the morning and at night can be the worst times because you're lost in your thoughts, and you're not busy. That's when you're just waking up and when you're just going to bed. So if you're able to help your mindset and just be thankful and grateful for things, it'll boost your mentality, your happiness, and just overall the person of like who you are. And that's one thing that I really want to continue to work on. Especially like I said, losing my dad was terrible, and I don't wish that upon anybody at this, especially that young. Unfortunately, we're all going to lose our parents, but too young, man. He was gone way too young. So I just know that I need to be more grateful for the life that I have. And I'm very grateful for the life that I have. But, sometimes everybody knows sometimes it's just a little hard, and that's life.
Yeah.
So, but if you're able to maintain a really good mentality and just be thankful and grateful and tell yourself that everything's good, and you're doing great, and while challenging yourself too, I think it all comes back around that, it just feels all around good.